Okay, so in today's video, I am going to show you how to start a newsletter, sell it for at least $10,000 and hopefully under 2 weeks. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Keith, aka The Secret Marketer. I build and sell microsites for an average of $15,000 per week or 60K per month. I have recently started a YouTube channel where I show others how to do it. I also have a free step-by-step workshop that shows you exactly what I do and how I do it and how you can do it too. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to show you exactly how to start. I have this course that shows how to not just build and sell microsites, but also other weird stuff like newsletters or communities or social channels and all kinds of fun stuff. So pay attention, you'll learn something, and I promise you'll make some money with it. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Step number one, you're going to find a niche. Just like anything else, just like any other website, newsletters require a niche audience to attract the right subscribers, right? So very important step. Make sure you don't bypass this. There's a couple resources here: ClickBank, Digistore 24, Reddit. If you're really looking for something, then you need to really reach for a niche. You're not sure, but most people have their own interest and experience that you can draw from. Okay, but let's just jump right over to it here. Sorry for my screen lagging a little bit, but you just start right here on ClickBank. If you register with ClickBank, ClickBank is one of the largest affiliate networks online. Been around for a long, long time, very reputable. I use them all the time in my microsite builds and other things that I do. But if you register as an affiliate with clickbank.com, it's free. And you jump over to the marketplace here, and then you click on top offers. There's a lot you can find in here. With ClickBank, there's going to be a lot of health and fitness and nutritional products in here. So let's just use that as an example. There's a lot of different products you can choose from. Let's assume for a second you're going to start a newsletter that's related to health, nutrition, weight loss, diet, fitness, whatever. Okay, something in that vertical. So you're going to find a ton of products here in ClickBank. I won't go too deeply into it on this video because the idea is, you can Google that, right? I'll save you some time. All right, so you can go to clickbank.com, register as an affiliate. It's free. You can also jump over here to Digistore 24. They also have a ton of fitness products. Sorry for the background noise, by the way, guys. I'm out in my patio. I live in Florida, so beautiful weather, but there's going to be some weird noises in the background on occasion. Okay, so ClickBank, Digistore 24. If you're really reaching for niches, you don't know where to go to Reddit, look at the top Reddits or subreddits. That'll give you some examples. But again, you should probably draw from something that you have experience with or history with that makes sense for you, okay? So that's step one, you're gonna find a niche. And let's just jump to step two. You're going to brand it. Think of a name, easy peasy. Don't spend days on this, right? Spend like an hour, if that. Thinking of a brand, think of a name, get a domain, make sure it's available. $10 for the domain, generally speaking. GoDaddy, Google, wherever. And then you're gonna jump over to Canva, the world's easiest logo creator. Tons and tons of templates on Canva. It's free, okay? Again, don't spend too much time on this. It's just a logo. It's not, you're not naming your child here. So do these things quickly. And then what you're gonna do is head over to either Beehive or Substack. Let's jump into what that is a little bit. Beehive and Substack are basically newsletter platforms. Sorry for the camera lagging here, guys. I don't know what's up with that. Newsletter platforms that will host your newsletter landing page, or a newsletter landing page if you want. They'll send out your newsletter. They'll help you monetize your newsletter. These things aren't going to cost you anything to get started. Generally, they take a piece of the proceeds unless you're not monetizing your newsletter. There's a lot of different options here, but jump over to Beehive, which is my favorite. That's what I've built a few on. And let's come back to our slides here. So again, name. You're going to go with name, domain name, obviously. Crank out a very simple, super basic, don't take too long on it logo on Canva, and then Beehive or Substack, whatever your preference is. Don't spend too much time on it. Step number three, you're going to create a funnel or a landing page to pre-launch your newsletter. High level is what I use. If you guys have watched my other videos, you know that. Link below. I'm going to have links below to all these resources, by the way, okay? But high level is what I use. I use it for 100 different reasons. I monetize the heck out of it on the front end and on the back end. Watch my other videos if you want to know how I'm doing that. I also have a course, a free workshop. It's like a step-by-step workshop that shows you how I use high level and what I'm doing with all these things to make these microsites. So use a template. Don't spend too much time on this. I have templates available. If you want to reach out to me, I've got those available to our members as well. But use a template. High level has a ton of templates as well. And then if you're feeling especially lazy like me, just have AI write the content for you for the landing page or the funnel page, okay? So again, don't spend too much time on this stuff, guys. I'll show you why here in a second. Then what you want to do, once you have all those things in order, this would all take you less than a day, right? Do not spend, if you're spending too much time on this, you're doing it wrong. So now you should have all these things in line, and you should start posting about this on your socials if you're comfortable doing so. Link in bio, whatever's easier for you. I mean, if you're really comfortable with it, it's just a newsletter. You're not selling crack here, right? So it's just a free newsletter. All you need to do is reach out to friends, family, post it on your socials, put it on your Instagram bio, like wherever you can put it, right? If you want to get a little extra aggressive about it, you can lurk about in Facebook groups or create, comments on Reddit or what have you. The go-to strategy for me has been to launch very, very, very inexpensive budgeted Facebook ads that provide information about the newsletter that I've launched, but also lead magnets if you're familiar with those, or some sort of incentive to get people to subscribe to your free newsletter, or at least get themselves on the list for the pre-launch, okay? So just to kind of quickly summarize here, we're spending less than a day on this, right? If you're doing it right, you should be spending less than a day on this. Don't overthink it. I'm an overthinker, so I know how it goes. Don't overthink it. You're gonna put all these things together, and then you're gonna find some kind of lead magnet. We'll talk about PLR here in a second. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, you can go grab some lead magnets, or you can have AI write some lead magnets for you. It could be an ebook. If it's using the example that I'm using here, it's gonna be health, weight loss, nutrition, etc. You can grab, some recipes. They get free recipes if they sign up for your newsletter today. The newsletter is free, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the idea. Facebook ads to offer something free are the most effective Facebook ads you'll ever launch. If you've never done it, you'll love it. I promise. Wildly cheap. Okay. So then number 5 here, we're going to do is, once you're doing that, all those things are in motion, all those things are in play. Now you're going to write your first 4 newsletters. Okay. You need to decide if those newsletters are going to be daily, weekly, or monthly. I would say, strong word of caution, word of advice here. Don't start daily. I promise you'll regret it. Daily becomes very much of a chore. Even though we're going to take maybe 2 weeks in this entire process, you don't really want to buy yourself a job for the next 2 weeks, right? So go weekly or even monthly to start. Not a big deal. It'll give you time to plan. Whether you're choosing daily, weekly, or monthly, plan your first 4 newsletters and use AI to write those newsletters. You do not have to write it yourself unless you're just bored, right? If you're bored and you've got nothing but time in your hands and you want to pour a lot of love into it, sure, write it yourself. If you hate copy as much as I do, have AI write it. Then within the articles and the things you're going to write about within the newsletter, make sure that you insert relevant affiliate links in the articles. So remember earlier we talked about ClickBank, we talked about Digistore24. Now we're taking those affiliate offers, right, that kind of you used as a springboard to inspire you on a niche idea. And now you're going to use those affiliate links in your newsletter. Super important because, well, that's how we monetize the newsletter, right? So, and then you can also add banner ads and image ads to your first 4 newsletter as well. These are things that you can do within Beehive. Or you can also send out your newsletter via High Level and do it that way, whatever's easier for you. And again, use PLR. Let's talk about PLR for a second. I find that most people that come into our group or most people that watch my YouTube channels actually have no idea what the hell PLR is. You're going to thank me for this. PLR is a godsend for a marketer. PLR stands for private label rights. So basically what it is, it's digital products that you can buy the licensing rights to and act as the publisher of that PLR. Okay, whether it's an article, whether it's a video course, ebook, software, there's all kinds of stuff you could do this with. So I went to, and I'll have the links below here to this as well, IDPLR. It's a membership site. That's all you can eat PLR. You can just go there, browse any category you'd like, and then download. So I just did a search here for, I did a search here for fitness, and there's a few things on here you could work with. The Ultimate Home Workout Plan, it's just an ebook, but you could download that, slap your brand on it that you've already created. And once you've done that, now that becomes the ultimate lead magnet for your Facebook ads, or anybody who opts in or subscribes to your newsletter can get that, okay? The other thing you can use PLR for is content within your newsletter, which is awesome. The third thing you can use PLR for in your newsletter is you can actually create digital products that you can sell to your newsletter subscribers. Kind of awesome. Anyway, tons of options there. Okay. Once you've done all of these things, 1 through 5, you're going to want to repeat steps 4 and 5, right? Because you want to keep going until you have at least 1,000 subscribers to your newsletter. I promise you it's much easier than you think. Many of you watching this probably have well over 1,000 friends on your socials, right? So it's really, really, really easy to get 1,000 subscribers for a free newsletter. I promise you, it's much easier than you think, okay? Again, you're not asking anyone for money. It's a free newsletter, easy peasy. So you're going to want to keep repeating steps 4 and 5, which is get subscribers to your newsletter, number 4, and number 5, write more content for your newsletter, right? Easy. This is over the course of 2 weeks. So even if you're writing 6 months worth of content for your newsletter, it's great to have that already planned out and ready to be published, as each newsletter is released, essentially. Okay, so we want to get at least 1,000 subscribers. Let's talk about this a little bit and how this works. Once you've done all those things, you've got at least 1,000 new subscribers to your newsletter. Now it's time to list it for sale. We have a ton of different places in our workshop and in our course and coaching program where you can sell newsletters, social channels. You can sell microsites. That's what I do, and sell them fast and from $15,000+ more, whatever. Watch my other videos for that. But as it relates to a newsletter, there's a couple specific places. This place is called Deuce, and it's where you can buy and sell newsletters, right? So you can look at some of the newsletters that they've got on here, and you can see that most of them are sold. Actually, this kind of speaks to how lucrative this can be, because right now they only have one that's available for sale at $60,000. That makes about $2,000 a month. Here's one that's sold for $18,000, relatively small list size. This one's a big list size, 100,000 people. That one sold for only $15,000, kind of surprising. Here's one that just sold for $1,000, kind of low in my opinion. Here's one for $10,000. No monthly revenue. Look at that. 0 revenue on this newsletter, and it sold for 10 grand. Again, why? It's a newsletter about learning facts. I don't know that you could get more boring. No offense to whoever, sold or bought this newsletter, but that sounds like a snoozer. Anyway, so you guys get the idea. This is called Deuce.com. You could also go to Flippa.com. Some newsletters for sale on that as well. If you want to watch our step-by-step workshop where I show you how to sell all sorts of things, but mostly microsites, I get really pretty heavily into this. I'll show you how to sell these things for at least 10K, which is what this video is about. Okay, so that's number 7. Step number 8, some metrics that I want you guys to consider. If you've gone through this entire process, let's say you've taken 2 weeks on this process. Some of you may take a week, some of you guys may take a month. I don't know, totally up to you, right? But metrics to consider as it relates to newsletters, email lists, that kind of thing. On average, each subscriber is worth $1 per month. So let that resonate for a second. That is an industry average, by the way, guys. That's not my made-up number. It's an industry average as it relates to engaged, active email lists, engaged, active newsletters. Now, there are some exceptions to that. If you put together a newsletter that is all about investing in gold, weird example. If you put together a newsletter that's all about heavily investing in crypto and any kind of financial services, financial planning, your subscriber would generally have a higher net worth than the average in that scenario. Your average subscriber is probably going to be worth a lot more than $1 per month. But then if you did one all about, I don't know. I'm going to think of a really weird example here. I don't know. Poodle owners in Alaska. That's a weird one. But assuming that's a very narrow niche, probably not too many poodle owners in the state of Alaska, they might be worth less than $1 per month, because how are you monetizing that? All these things. The industry average is $1 per month per subscriber. That's why I said earlier, get your subscriber list to at least 1,000 people, because now industry averages dictate that you're going to make at least $1,000 per month if you're monetizing it properly, if you have strong performing affiliate offers in there, or you have your own digital products, whatever the scenario is, okay? But that's sort of the sweet spot. Now, as it relates to advertising your newsletter to get subscribers, that's also an inexpensive endeavor for you and will be for your newsletter buyer, okay? So that should cost you less than $1 cost per acquisition, okay? So less than $1, if you're doing it right. If it's costing you more than that, you're doing something wrong. Less than $1 to get a new subscriber to your newsletter. If you're launching Facebook ads or any kind of paid media, you should be eventually, depending on how long you're running this newsletter before you're flipping it, advertising it on places like Facebook. There's entire advertising networks, by the way, where you can effectively advertise newsletters like yours on other newsletters. It's like an ad exchange thing, co-op, okay? We can get into that in another video if you'd like. But anyway, it should cost you less than $1 per newsletter subscriber for you. And then that would equate to, just using very safe industry averages, $12 per year, let's say it that way, per new subscriber, okay? Great ROI, actually. And then this is the exciting part right here, guys. The exit multiple for a newsletter averages between $8 and $12 per subscriber. So let me just in case you missed that, I'm going to walk you through what I just showed you how to do. Coming all the way up here to step 1, right? And this is where this becomes wildly accurate here, this whole thing, right? Going steps 1 through, we're almost at 10, I think, or something. You're going to do all this in a week to 2 weeks, and you're acquiring newsletter subscribers for south of $1, right? And then you're selling your newsletter for an average of $10 per subscriber. Awesome, right? It's just how you can just quickly 10x that. It's insane. So that's number 9. Sell your newsletter for 10x. List your newsletter for at least 10K, or an average of, let's say, $10 per subscriber. That, by the way, you've paid no more than $1 per subscriber to get, right? You're building an audience, you've got the brand, you've got the newsletter, and now you've got, if you're listing it properly, and we can show you how to do that, a buyer who's willing to pay 10x for something you just built 2 weeks ago. Happens all the time. I've done it numerous times. I do this with microsites all the time. It's very, 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 very doable. I've even shown you where you could sell it. Okay. All right. So then, of course, the big step here is rinse and repeat. Why would you not do that? Like, how many times can you do that each month? That's pretty epic. So this is where I get a little pitchy for myself. If you want to learn more on how I make $15,000 per week building and selling microsites and newsletters and other weird stuff, you can watch my free step-by-step workshop that I show you exactly how I make that much, how I do what I do, all that good stuff. It's free, no cost, no catch. Linked below as well. So I'll provide all the links below. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I really, really hope this was helpful. I'm sorry for the background noise again, but I tried to make this video less than a half hour, which I guess I ended up doing, which is great. But if you have any questions, comments, make sure you do that below. All links are below. If you want to take my free workshop, it's there. No catch, no cost. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.
Secret.